CEDDMACK, it's a beautiful thing.
Musictechworks. Musictechworks.
Okay, so playing around with the vintage mode. I'm gonna turn it down just a little bit. All right, so. All right, I'm gonna switch it to the 3000 vintage mode. This is the 60. SP1200. SP1200 with the ring. And now I would just go back and forth. You can just kind of see when I'm changing the screen to the vintage mode. Here's the first one with the ring. So, a lot of people may not be able to hear the difference. I hear the difference, but they do something to the audio. I wouldn't say it exactly makes it sound like a 3000, but the one that I can really, really hear good is the SP1200 ring mode. I do like that. I like dirty samples and dirty sounds and everything. Sometimes when I do what I feel that I want to do, I just make it sound like the way I want to make it sound. But when I'm working on a particular project, I can't submit beats with, boom baps tracks, you know what I'm saying? Unless I'm dealing with one of those kind of artists. So I can't just be free all the time to just work on a bunch of stuff that I love and like. But if I'm running the business, I got to give the people what they want, right? Okay. And that's just to say, not to say, okay, yeah, I'm gonna sell out, just because they want trap beats, that's all I'm gonna give them. Okay, yeah, I just want to say that I have the ability to give them trap beats or whatever kind of beat they want, and I can still do what I want to do, but I'm probably not going to spend all day making 10, 15 boom bap tracks when I can make, a few tracks based on, what's so-called hot on the Billboard and based on what the labels and what the artists are looking for and things like that. So, but yeah, and it depends. And right now, me and my partners, we are working on a old school classic hip hop type album. So with that being said, we got the SP1200. He has the SP1200. I have an S950. He has the S950. I got the MPC 62. He has the actual reel-to-reel situation going on over there, and we're going to record everything. Probably the vocal mic is going to be the SM58. Just gonna be just straight up, just some regular old school stuff, and we're gonna record everything to tape and actually, put everything on tape as far as cassettes. Sell the project on cassettes. And for that particular project, yeah, I use the old school MPCs all day, and then I'm not in a rush or in a hurry to get stuff done. I don't have deadlines with that because that's something that I'm working on, or an artist might, commission me to say, hey, I want to do like some old DJ Premier type beats, stuff like that. Yeah, I'll use the 60 then. But for the current stuff that's on the radio right now, was jumping. A lot of these tracks are being done with FL Studio. So FL Studio has a sound, but that sound is, depending on what you mean by sound, but it has FL Studio has its own flavor. You can almost tell a FL Studio track sometimes, but a lot of those records are hit records and very popular records. And I know Hit Boy, he used a lot of things, and I know FL Studio might have been the main thing he was using. People just recently saw him on the MPC, but I'm sure that's not the first time he ever used the MPC for a record, But I'm just saying that all kind of gear is used, but most of the stuff that we're hearing is made with FL Studio or Ableton Live or something like that, or Logic. I don't know many who's doing the current, I call it the new wave or whatever. Part of mine, he called it the new wave, with all the the Travis Scotts and the all Lil Baby, all these artists and all these tracks, Dub Baby, City Girls, like who's using the old school gear to make those beats. I know Metro Boomin incorporated the MPC 2000 XL, and the tracks that he did do with that, I can kind of hear it, but it's kind of hard. I just know it sounds good, but you got to keep in mind, this stuff is being ran through very expensive, high quality analog gear as well. So with my X, what I normally do, and I might have mentioned this before, I run it through an old mixer. I have a Avalon 737 SP. I'll just run through that as well. I'm actually getting another one to have a stereo pair. I use the to get close to it, I use the UAD plugins as well and track through those just to add that analog sheen to it as close as you can get. And I'm kind of on the edge of getting the SSL Big 6, go into that and then come out and then go analog into my Apollo X6, which is about to be the X8, because I'm about to upgrade, because I want to be able to sum all 8 outputs. Right now I can only do 6. Okay, so, but with that said, it is true, the older MPCs do sound better. I mean, it's just a fact. And I knew this and just stuffed this in the back of my mind, because I love the workflow of the MPC, and I still think that the MPC X1, I still think they all sound current. It's about what's current, and they sound current. But I have made working on some sync tracks and everything. I can let you hear a track with let me play it real quick. It's a track I did with the MPC 2500. Yeah, let me just pull that up real quick. One second. So I'll just play a couple. So this track right here, this is from my sync library. We'll talk about sync, getting placements in movies and TV and media and things like that. But this is one of my scene tracks, and I used the MPC 2500 to make this, and let's just play a little bit of that just to hear the sound here. Okay, so that was the MPC 2500 along with the Roland Phantom 06. Okay, so that track is all hardware, all right? And I tracked each part out through the interface. Of course, there's no exporting here, so I tracked everything out straight through the interface. And that's that. So here's a track done all inside of the MPC X with the internal sounds of the MPC X. All right, so that's all the MPC X. And with that track, that was one, it was done 100% inside of the MPC X with the key groups and everything. I think on those drums, I used the New Jack Swing program for the drums. And I used that R&B bass. This is like kind of got like some old school sound. Again, this is sync tracks for like scenes and scene transitions and things like that. And with that one, I actually tracked it out as well instead of exporting, okay? So here's a track. This is all MPC X. That is the MPC X, and everything is 100% MPC X with this track. And I actually exported, arranged it, mixed it, everything in the MPC X. I haven't even taken this track out to a DAW yet. Sometimes I do that because I just like the way it sounds, the way it is. But I did use some old rusty drums, you know, to kind of help with the sound. And, you know, everything doesn't have to be clean, super clean, but that's what these new machines do. They give you like this clean sound, but you can do other stuff to, you know, to broaden them out or to widen them out, or, you know, cycle them through an analog system, or put the right plugins on them. It's so many things that you can do, but, you know, it is what it is. So, you know, the sound, yes, those older machines. I have an ASR 10. Matter of fact, let me pull that track up. With this track, I'm gonna play just a little bit of it because I need to clear it all the way first. But I did the track on the ASR 10. All right. And then when it was time to arrange and do, you know, a whole bunch of other things, it was just, I was kind of in a hurry. And I guess that day of that couple of days I was working on this track, I didn't have the patience. So what I did, I just sampled each part into the MPC X. But when I do play it back from the ASR 10, when I play the parts back from the ASR 10, and then when I play it back from the X recorded exactly what was coming out of the ASR 10. So, but with the workflow of the MPC X, I was able to get this done a whole lot quicker. You know, quicker is not always better, but it just allowed me, and it gave me more options and more control of editing the samples and just doing everything what I needed to do when I moved the track over from the ASR 10 into the MPC X. Let me pull that track up really quick, just one moment. I'm gonna go back and speed this up, but this is an idea when Loving Me Long Time by Mariah Carey. And when DJ Toomp did that, I got inspired to do this. And shouts out to DJ Toomp. Like I said, he's a real one, so got every right to be arrogant and a-hole, but he's not. So people should learn from him. But yeah, this is the MPC 60 and Akai Multimedia's was it Reason? It's one of the two. Sample Tank. So that's what he's talking about when he talks about the sound. Like, do you hear how those drums are cutting through, that mix, and how punchy and smooth they are? And they're almost like saturated. But that's the MPC 60 right there, and I did minimum mixing to those. I just made sure they were leveled right. Like, that's coming straight out of the MPC 60. Okay, and so another track I did. This song is actually making a comeback overseas, and we're probably going to do go ahead and re-release it. It's an artist I work with. His name is Remedy. We did a song called All Night Long a few years ago, and things happened, but he's back and ready to, you know, go ahead and do what he need to do. And he's one of the loyal people that I know, so I still deal with him versus a lot of other people. But this track was originally done when I was at Guitar Center messing around on the computer in Logic, and I took the track home and finished it. But when I was playing it back, and, you know, with everything that was out then, it just wasn't hitting up to it. And I knew what it was. It was the drums. So what I did, I brought I redid the drums with the MPC 60. So here's that track. It's called All Night Long by Remedy.
So many ladies come in, they want to man get them in at the groove. Plenty of women, they say that they want and they want that is so smooth. Cause them like it rough, they like it tough, they like it when it's a pro. So cause they want to man make them jump and make them go get in at the move. Cause I said move now, to the beat and groove now, and make it slow down. Cause you're party all night long. Dancing behind me with a fantasy full of energy all night long. She told me that she want me to fulfill the fantasies them all night long. It's private, so she want me conceal the way the key, yeah, all night long.
Oh, so that's all night long, and again, you can hear the MPC 60, the way it cuts through and does its thing. But yeah, and let me see if I got MPC 3000. So this will be an MPC 3000 beat coming up next with an artist. His name Lil Boo Boo. We did this a while ago, and this track was on Steve Rowland from Tag Team. He actually, besides Alvin Spikes, showing me the MPC 3000. Steve was the first one I actually I was able to work with on actually allowing me to use his MPC 3000 to make this beat.